Namaskar. Welcome to another interesting episode of Editorial. If you ask a management expert as to how he or she would solve a problem, resolve a problem, he or she would tell you that there are 3 steps to solve a problem. Step number 1 would be to accept the fact that there is a problem. Step number 2 is to understand the problem. Deep dive into the problem, understand what the problem is. And step number 3 would be to find a solution for the problem. Each of these are interconnected. Till such time that you don't accept, you will not understand. And till such time that you don't understand, you will not find a solution. Simple. Now, if you look at the Narendra Modi government in the last 7 years, what we often find is that a problem doesn't get a solution. It gets a diversion. If something is not right, then it is because of somebody else. It could be because of Mr. Nehru, it could be because of Indira Gandhi, it could be because of Rajiv Gandhi, it could be because of Manmohan Singh. The problem we had is we never accepted a problem. And normally, other than getting a solution, we got diverted. Let's deep dive into this particular issue and let's take 2 case studies and talk about it. Let's get right into the show. Let's take the pandemic, especially the second wave. Now, while the whole world was gearing up during the first wave to ensure that their people are protected from the second wave and also to ensure that they make the impact of second wave as less as possible, we thought that pandemic was over. We were busy fighting elections and calling rallies, asking 5-10 lakh people to come and join the rallies. We were busy organizing Kumbh Melas, where I'm told 25 lakh people came. We were busy organizing all that because we thought pandemic is over. Pandemic struck more lethally than what pandemic 1 did. But unfortunately, the first error we made that we didn't accept that there was a problem. We didn't accept that there was management flaw, there was a foresight issue. We didn't accept that we didn't expect what was happening, and we were completely caught off guard. We did not accept that. Our government did not accept it. Point number 1. Now let us get into understanding of the problem. The whole world, let me give you some figures. The whole world applied a very potent strategy of inoculating its people at one end while the country was going through a lockdown. So they locked their country down and inoculated as many people as possible, so that when the country slowly opens up, COVID doesn't surge. And most of these countries today, at least the second wave, hasn't surged. Let's talk about Israel. Israel gave 2 doses to almost 59% of its population, and 3.9% of its population has received 1 dose. United Kingdom, 45% of its population has received 2 doses and 17% 1 dose. Chile, 48% 2 doses, 14% 1 dose. Uruguay, 36% 2 doses, 25% 1 dose. Bahrain, 51% 2 doses, 9.4% 1 dose. Hungary, 44% 2 doses, 11% 1 dose. United States, 44% 2 doses, 8.6% 1 dose. Now let us come to India. India has given 3.4% of our population 2 doses and 12% of our population 1 dose. So what was the strategy that we were depending on? What was the strategy that we were depending on? Thali bajao strategy? Batti bajao lagao strategy? What was the strategy that we were depending on? The fact is, possibly, there was no strategy. There was no strategy of lockdown on one end and then vaccinate on the other. And I will tell you why. The government of India talks about giving 26 crores of vaccine. They said, Baba, 26 crore people we have vaccinated. 26 doses we have provided, not people. 26 doses, 26 crore doses we have provided. 26 crore doses, if you would say 2 doses per person, would mean 13 crores of people. They say, Baba, that is as good as some countries' population, isn't it? It doesn't work that way. The day the Prime Minister took oath of this country, he knew that he was the Prime Minister for 135 crore people. He knew that he had to provide for 135 crore people, so did the Health Minister. They were aware of it. It is not that in January of 2021 that this entire thing of 135 crore people popped up and they said, "Arey, 135 crore people, kya malum hi nahi tha." It didn't happen that way, is it? In 2020, we knew that there were 135 crore people when we were planning our vaccine strategies, our vaccine policies, if at all there was a plan. But we restricted our vaccine manufacturers to 2. And we said these 2 people will give all the 135 crore people, which is 135 crore multiplied by 2, which is 270 crore people or 70 crore doses. They said these 2 manufacturers will make and give it. On what basis did we say that? So that was the first understanding of the problem. Problem number 2. We never understood the problem. We thought every problem could be diverted. Thali bajao, batti jalao, or blame it on some community, blame it on such people. We thought all this will go away. We can wish this problem away. Nobody went to deep dive into the problem. So we discussed accepting that there is a problem. We discussed acceptance. We discussed deep diving, understanding the problem. Now let us come to finding the solution to the problem. One of the solutions that they found was to increasing the gap of a vaccine called Covishield, which is an AstraZeneca vaccine, from 6 to 8 weeks to 12 to 16 weeks. 1.5 to 2 months to 3 to 4 months. That was the gap. So you could have one dosage today and the next dosage you can have it after 4 months. This was the solution that the health minister, another solution that the health ministry found. Now, the problem with this? The problem with this is people started questioning as to how can you randomly just increase the dosage intervals? Hey, bhai, one fine day you come and say that, okay, last time when you spoke, you said it has to be in 1 month's time. Then you said it has to be in 2 months' time. Now you are saying you can do it after 4 months. I mean, where is the logic? And why would people trust you? So, if there is no vaccine, then what we do is, less vaccine we will try and give it to as many people as possible. Is that a solution? Or getting more vaccines and then giving it to people a solution? So, this is the reason, this is how you subvert a problem. Now, Reuters came out and said that, listen, most of the scientific community do not agree to you. The minister says, absolutely no, I've got a unanimous go-ahead from the scientific community. So the solution that one finds without accepting that there is a problem and understanding the problem is solutions like this, which is more than solution, it is diversion. Now, let's come to the second case study. The second case study where there was a management flaw. This case study is about the post-pandemic economy. Now, I'm going to tell you 3 headlines. I'm going to share with you 3 headlines. One that was announced yesterday, that is net direct taxes collection in 2021-22 grown at over 100% despite COVID-19 pandemic, says Ministry of Finance. This was the announcement made yesterday. So, our direct taxes grew by 100%. Announcement number 1. Announcement number 2 is maybe 4 months old, 5 months old. This is financial woes brought by coronavirus pandemic have pushed about 32 million Indians out of the middle class. 32 million Indians have been pushed down from middle class, pushed out of middle class because a lot of reasons, loss of job, loss of pay, so on and so forth. It also says that a lot of people, in fact, 75 million people have been pushed to poverty. So that's my headline 2. My headline 3 is something that was that I saw in NDTV yesterday is a woman who lost her husband and job due to the pandemic, and her 5 children were admitted to the hospital because apparently they went without food for days. 3 stories. Net direct taxes increasing by 100%. Second, 32 million middle class being pushed out of middle class. Thirdly, a woman and her 5 children starving and hospitalized because they have no food to eat. The reason I say this is a case study which shows about the flaw in our economic management is, let's go with the same analogy. First, we have to accept the fact that our rich are getting richer and we are doing nothing for our middle class and the poor to ensure that they remain where they are, if not elevate them, remain where they are. We've done nothing, and our government, our system is not accepting the fact that there is no enough relief given to the middle class and the poor. Number 1. Number 2 is, let us talk about understanding. The understanding is still not there because these data of 32 million going from middle class to being pushed out of middle class and all has not come from the government. They have come from an agency called PEW of United States. We still have not come out with these data. We still are not deep diving and understanding why is there an economic gap? Why is the gap being widened of the poor and the have and the have-nots, the poor and the rich? The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. We seem to have no idea. We seem to be having no idea about it. We are not deep diving into it. We are not coming out with solutions to it. Now, thirdly, let's talk about the solution. The solution that recently the Prime Minister came is that he is going to provide free ration for the poor. 80 crore of people is what he says till Diwali. Good. But is that a solution? That's a stopgap arrangement. That is not a solution. Feeding them till Diwali? Great. After Diwali, what? You'll feed them till next Diwali. Then what? The next to next Diwali. Where is this going to end? Like the Chinese proverb says, you give a man a fish, he will eat for a day. You teach him fishing, he will eat for his lifetime. The point is, we do not seem to be having a concrete solution that is for the poor and the middle class, so that the middle class stays middle class and the poor is elevated. We do not seem to be having a strategy where we can provide jobs for our youth. We can provide employment for our unemployed. We can provide money to our small and medium scale businessmen. We can provide money to consumers so that they can go out there and purchase, so that the economy can boost up. We do not seem to be having a solution for all of those. Our solution comes from very limited understanding of the problem. And the fact that we have limited understanding of the problem is because we have not accepted that there is a problem. Now let me come to the last part of the editorial. Does this government wonder why people leave them? Intelligent people, informed people, professionals, why do they leave this government and go? The reason why people like Urjit Patel, people like Viral Acharya, people like Arvind Subramaniam, people like PC Mohan, of the NSSO, people who are professionals, people who are really good at what they do, they leave and go is because somewhere down the line, these people are taught to identify, find and deliver solutions. Not create jugards, not create diversions. And the moment you digress from the acceptance, understanding and finding solutions route, professional tend to leave that organization. And that's what's happened here too. So this is the point I wanted to make. Do write to me with your opinion, and till I see you next time. Namaskar.
पता है, इन सब लोगों में एक चीज कॉमन है। गैस करिए क्या? नहीं पता? चलिए एक हिंट देती हूँ। ये सब आपके परिवार से जुड़े हैं। अरे, फिर भी नहीं पहचाना आपने इन्हें? चलिए कोई बात नहीं। वैसे भी ये लोग पर्दे के पीछे ही तो काम करते थे। इन सब की डेथ हो गई है कोविड से, ताकि आप और आपका परिवार सेफ रह सके। और यही तो है परिवार का मतलब। अपनों की रक्षा करना। जो हमारे लिए जान दे सकते हैं वो अपने सगे नहीं तो फिर कौन है? मुंबई पुलिस।